Hello, everybody. I hope everybody is doing well tonight. Today is election day, so I hope everybody went out and made their voices heard. Um, Anyways, we're going to wait a few minutes, give people a chance to get in here. So while we're waiting, I'm going to go ahead and go off screen, go off camera for a moment to take care of a couple things, and I'll be right back. Put some music on for you guys while we wait. All right, I'm back. Let me just there we go. For now, yeah. Alrighty then. So as I said, we're just waiting on some more people to show up here. Um, anyways. Alright, let's go off camera one more time here. I'll be right back. Alright, so we're at the 9 minute mark, so I guess it's about a good time to start going over what we'll. And tonight we're going to be looking at just 3 articles. As we're just going to be looking at primarily released information. DC and Marvel, of course, will be um, coming out with. DC and Marvel will be coming out with some releases that we'll probably be talking about here. Um, so with that, why don't we go ahead and get started here then? And as always, if anything talk about grabs your attention, feel free to comment on it or ask about it. Try to do my best to answer the question as best I can. Um, and if you can, also like and share the stream so we can get some more friendly people in here and get more engaged. Anyways, without any further ado, why don't we go ahead and get started? Let me just Alrighty then. as usual. And of course, we got some news on Gargoyles comic coming out from Dynamite Entertainment as well. So first out, let's look at some of these DC releases coming out here. DC's Death of Superman anniversary and Wildcats lead new releases. DC celebrates the 30th anniversary of the death of Superman and Wildstorm with the release of an anthology one-shot and a new Wildcat series. Article by Sean Gribben, published one day ago. Oh, this last night, so I knew I'd probably have to cover it today. So, the death of Superman celebrates its 30th anniversary, while Wildcat and other titles debut from DC Comics. Out on Tuesday is The Death of Superman 30th Anniversary Special Number 1, an anthology one-shot that brings readers back to when Superman died fighting Doomsday in 1992. The creators responsible for quote-unquote, The Death of Superman return to tell four new stories featuring the work of Dan Jurgens, Brett Breeding, um, Roger Stern, Butch Weiss, Louise Simonson, John Bogdanov, Jerry Ordway, Tom Grummett, and more, along with stories focusing on Ma and Pa Kent, the Guardian, and Steel. One will one will introduce a new Doomsday-like villain, Doombreaker, which Superman and his son John Kent will have to face together. The death of Superman is not the only 30th anniversary that DC is celebrating in November. However, ahead of the Wildstorm 30th anniversary special one shot out later in the month, a new Wildcat title debuts this week from writer Matthew Rosenberg and artist Steven Segovia. Wildcat spins out of quote the long con unquote story told across Batman Urban Legends number 1 through number 5, and will be a limited series reuniting the team under the leadership of Full Cash, aka the Grifter. Kind of got a little tripped up there trying to say that. The Death of Superman 30th Anniversary Special and Wildcats number 1 are just two issues among a number of new releases from DC. Out as well is the new Golden Age number 1, a one-shot that launches two new series, Justice Society of America and Stargirl: The Lost Children. Readers can also pick up the penultimate issues of Superman, Son of Kal-El, and Dark Crisis on Infinite Earth, along with the finale of Multiversity, King Justice. A full list of releases can be found alphabetically below, covers and solicitations included. So here are some images from the first title, Batgirls number 12. Oh look, they've even bolded the names here. Batgirls number 12, written by Becky Cloonan and Michael W. Conrad, art by Neil Googe, cover by Jorge Corona. Let's see. $3.99, 32 pages, variant $4.99 US card stock, on sale November 8th, 2022. Boy, do the Batgirls have some keys for you. Okay? Literally, Cass and Steph, so Cassandra Cain and Stephanie Brown, go down a rabbit hole of madness when they're invited to Mad Hatter's tea party. But with the death of yet another Hill resident looming on their shoulders, they're one step closer to finding the Hill Ripper. Okay, that sounds pretty interesting. Batman Incorporated #2, written by Ed Brinson. Art and cover by John Kim. Let's see. $3.99 US, 32 pages, variant $4.99 US cardstock on sale November 8th. So I'm guessing all of these are went on sale today, so I'll read those parts. The Pulse Pounding second chapter. I won't read those unless, of course, it's otherwise noted. But anyway, the Pulse Pounding second chapter to No More Teachers continues as Batman Incorporated continue to investigate the death of Ghostmaker and Batman's mentors. Um, each new lead only begs more questions and threatens to unearth a shocking secret buried deep in Ghostmaker's past, a secret that refuses to die. Batman vs. Robin #3, written by Mark Waid, art and cover by Mahmoud Nazrar. $5.99 US, 48 pages, part 3 of 5, $6.99 US card. Batman has been on a breakneck journey through the DC universe, from Wayne Manor to the House of Secrets and back again. But where there are clues, there is a trail, and the world's greatest detective has followed this particular trail back to where he and Superman began this journey, Lazarus Island. With an entire island and army at Damian Wayne's disposal, does Batman stand a chance? We'll give you a hint. No. Uh, Here's some more of the artwork from the next book we're going to be looking at. Batman Urban Legends #21, written by Michael Cho, Anthony Falcone, Joey Esposito, Dennis Culver, and Julio um, Antel. Art by Michael Cho, Vasco Gorgi, Hayden Sherman, and others. Cover by Michael Cho. Michael Cho really had a hand in this book, didn't he? $2.99 US, 64 pages, prestige, all covers are card. This sounds like a pretty big book there. The magazine size that comics went for. This month's issue brings you the dynamic duo pushing the Batmobile to its absolute limit. The Murder Club has thrown Batman's life into chaos. How will Robin, Alfred, and Nightwing keep them together? Arkham Academy opens its doors to its first ever class of students related to Gotham's greatest villain. Um, will they make the grade? And we see Renee Montoya's last days as a detective before she became Gotham City's newest commissioner. Now, Renee Montoya's had a very interesting life throughout DC. Of course, she was initially a character that was initially actually introduced in the Batman the Animated Series back in the early 90s. There is some disagreement on if she appeared in the comics first or if she appeared on the actual TV series. I think her comic and animated appearance were both pretty close to each other. So, and in the comics, of course, they had her at one point where she partnered up with Dick Sage, aka the Question, and then once he died, she eventually became the Question for a while, and then now she's now she's the and of course, she had a partnership of many forms with, of course, Batwoman, Kate Kane. So now moving on to the next title here, Heart Crisis on Infinite Earth #6, written by Joshua Williamson, art and cover by Daniel Campier and Alejandro Sanchez. $4.99 US, 32 pages, part 6 of 7. Variant, $5.99 US, cardstock. War erupts as more heroes are taken at the hands of pariah. The fate of the multiverse depends on the young heroes of the DCU as they clash with Deathstroke and the Dark Army. And the resurrected Justice League race home to Earth Zero in time to join the fight, even if it could mean that not everyone gets to return. What dark powerhouse rises on the battlefield? Do not miss this incredible breakneck battle royal. Nice description there for this upcoming title. Alrighty then. Anyways, we shall get back to the article here. All right, The Death of Superman 30th Anniversary Special Number 1. Written by Dan Jurgen, Gary Ordway, Roger Stern, and Louise Simonson. Art by Dan Jurgen, Butch Geist, um, Tom Grummett, Brett Breeding, Doug Hazelwood, John Bogdanov, and more. Cover by Dan Jurgens and Brett Breeding. 10.99, 80 pages, one shot. The Life of Superman, Standing Guard, Time, Above and Beyond. 30 years ago, the unthinkable happened. The Man of Steel died. After sacrificing himself to stop the unstoppable global threat Doomsday, Metropolis and the rest of the DC universe mourned the loss of their greatest hero. To mark this monumental moment in comics, DC has reunited the complete creative team behind the original event for 4 brand new stories. Led by Dan Jurgens and Brett Breeding, the special kicks off with a new Superman story and villain, Doombreaker, followed by a series of short stories revisiting some of Superman's greatest allies and exclusive pinup done by some of comics' greatest artistic talent, including Lee Weeks, Libor Rodriguez, Bill Sienkiewicz, and Walter Simonson. And before I get to this next, I do need to step away in the computer for a moment. I'll be really kind on some music for you guys. But, John. Alrighty, anyways, I'm back. Looks like we do have a third person, and you can help things out by liking and share. And I thank you for the like and the share. Um, hopefully, as I said, I'm going through the releases. Um, so today, DC, of course, released a bunch of comics, so we're just going over those right now, and then we'll do Marvel next, and then there's some information from Dynamite Entertainment as well, with the Gargoyles comic that they're doing. So, um, now, no further ado, let's continue. And if anything grabs your attention, you want to comment on or ask about, feel free to do so, and I'll try to answer the question as best I can. Anyways, on to the next comic here being released. The Flash, the fastest man alive, number 3, written by Kenny Porter, art and cover by Jason Howard. 5.99 US, 48 pages. The concluding part of the story here, part 33, variant 6.99 US cardstock. Barry has learned to control his powers and is finally starting to feel like the hero he's always dreamed he could be. But then a showboating new villain, going by the name of The Top, shows up looking to test his abilities and make some cash selling his weapons after after showing how they can take out the Flash. Barry will need to use every skill he's picked up along the way if he's going to stop this topsy-turvy terror. Right, the next story here now. Here are some of the images from the next book. I Am Batman. Right. I Am Batman, number 15, written by John Ridley, art by Carl Mostert, um, cover by Christian Deuce. 3.99 US, 32 pages, variant 4.99 US cardstock. All right, so a Dark Crisis tie-in issue when John Kent first asked Jace Fox to join the new Justice League. The answer was a firm no. But as Deathstroke and the Legion of Doom hunt the heroes of the DCU, Jace learns the hard way that there are some fights from which Batman cannot run, and the only thing he has to fear is fear itself. And then here's some of the artwork for the next book we're gonna get to. Multiversity, Teen Justice number 6, written by Danny Lore and Ivan Cohen, art by Marco Thea, with cover by Robbie Rodriguez. Article 3.99 US, 32 pages, part 6 of 6, variant 4.99 US cardstock. The epic miniseries reaches its unforgettable conclusion as a new hero makes their unexpected debut. The heroes of Teen Justice are still reeling from the loss they suffered last issue, but there's no time to mourn. Sinestro and the other members of the Corps have a plan to use all humanity as fuel for their monstrous schemes, and only Kid Quick and the surviving members of their team stand in the way. I'm guessing Team Justice must be like a teenage version of the Justice League or something like that. In the end, everything may depend on the superheroic debut of, well, that would be telling. Yeah, that would be a spoiler, wouldn't it? Here are a couple images from the next one. The New Golden Age number 1. Oh, we got 4. Written by, The New Golden Age #1, written by Jeff Johns, art by Steve Lieber, Jerry Ordway, and Diego Tegui, cover by Michael Yanin. Let's see, $4.99 US, 48 pages, one shot, $5.99 US cardstock. From the Justice Society of America to the Legion of Superheroes, the new Golden Age will unlock DC's epic and secret-ridden history of heroism, launching a new group of titles set firmly in the DC universe, from the 1940s to the 2040s. Heroes take on the great evils of their time, but in the aftermath of Flashpoint Beyond, those heroes and villains will have their lives turned upside down. DC's future and its past will never be the same again. But how are Mime and Marionette connected to this? Why are Rip Hunter and the Time Masters the most unlikable heroes of the DC universe? And who or what is nostalgia? Don't miss the start of the strangest mystery to have ever plagued the DC universe. This looks like, I think that's Zatara right there, possibly. Okay. The Nice House on the Lake, #11. Written by James Tynion the Fourth. Art and cover by Alvaro Martinez Bueno. $3.99 US, 32 pages. Part 11 of 12, variant $4.99 US cardstock. Right. Ever since they were children, Walter and Nora were inseparable. But that time is over. No betrayal cuts deeper than the betrayal of your closest friend. And Nora knows just where to plant the knife. Oh boy. Everything changes as the penultimate issue of this unforgettable horror epic. Okay, so obviously not Zatara. Not Zatanna. Oh, here we go. The second to the last issue of this title coming through here. Superman, Son of Kal-El, #17, written by Tom Taylor, art by Sean Tormey and Ryrie Coleman, cover by Travis Moore. $3.99 US, 32 pages, variant $4.99 US cardstock. Kal-El, in smaller quotes, Kal-El Returns, Part 4. Superman and Son are reunited, so why doesn't it feel so good? Could it be because of the LexCorp automatons threatening the safety of Metropolis? I've got a bad feeling about this. All right, moving on to the next series here. Oh, this looks like the Wildcat series right here. I think that's the Grifter in the first panel right there. Wildcats #1, written by Matthew Rosenberg. Art and cover by Steven Segovia. Let's see, $3.99 US, 32 pages, variant $4.99 US cardstock. Spinning off from the pages of Batman comes a senses-shattering new series. The Halo Corporation has gathered a motley crew of operatives led by Cole Grifter Cash, who are going to make the world a better place, no matter who they have to kill. Working in the shadows of the DC universe, this new covert team has been tasked with gathering an elite group of scientists for the first phase of their plan. But the cat's mysterious leader, Void, might have other plans. And we got it. We got some Wonder Woman pics here. Batman's in there as well. Wonder Woman number 793, written by Becky Cloonan, Michael W. Conrad, and Jordi Belair. Art by Manuela Lupacchino and Paulina Ganuccio. Cover by Yannick Paquette. $4.99, 40 pages, variant $5.99 US cardstock. The Trinity reunited. With Superman's recent return from Warworld, he, Batman, and Wonder Woman have been called to the Justice League's abandoned watchtower to save their planet from an Imperium invasion. Do they still have what it takes? Or has the time away from one another left Earth open to attacks from throughout the universe that the strongest heroes can't stop? All of these issues go on sale November 8th from DC Comics. So there we go. There we go with that one. So those are all the my guess that the Marvel releases will happen tomorrow. We'll go through those here in a sec. See where we at on time here. Oh, goody. It looks like we're making some good time here. About 40 minutes or so to get through that. For that. So, anyways, actually, I'm going to need to step away from the computer for another moment here. So, I'll put some music on, and I'll be right back. Hopefully, you guys will. Okay, so here we go. Now we've hit now that we've hit DC's releases, now we're gonna hit Marvel's releases. Marvel's new Fantastic Four series headlines this week's releases. Marvel's new Fantastic Four series launches alongside the origin of Spider-Man's Kraven the Hunter, a Black Panther one-shot, and more. Article by Sean Given, published 1 day ago. Oh, here we go. Fantastic Four lead a new week of releases from Marvel Comics. Written by Ryan North and illustrated by Iban Coelho, um, Marvel's new um, Fantastic Four series launches on Wednesday. The creative team follows the heroes' previous 48 issue run that began in 2018, which was helmed by writer Dan Slott and various artists, including Sarah Pichelli, Rachel Slott, or Scott, so Scott, R.B. Silva, and more. Now, mind you, of course, these titles will be coming out tomorrow, I believe. That will be going over here. North has said of the new ongoing title, quote, I want to do these smaller, self-contained stories in the vein of 60s Star Trek, where they go down to a planet, find a weird thing, fix a weird thing, and move on, unquote. The first few issues of the title promises small towns with mysterious secrets, the Fantastic Four's members on the run, and more. It almost sounds a little bit like, granted, he made the comparison to Star Trek, but it sounds a little bit like Scooby Doo too, where Scooby Doo and his gang would just travel around the country and solve a mystery and move on. So it sounds a little bit like Scooby Doo in there as well. Then again, Star Trek originally came out in '66. Scooby Doo came out in '69. So, anyways, as for Marvel's other heroes, the one-shot Black Panther, Unconquered #1, and the debut issue of Spider-Man: The Lost Hunt go on sale this week. Unconquered is written by Brian Hill and illustrated by Alberto Foch, and will be a story about T'Challa diving into Wakanda's hidden history and learning more about the Panther god Bast. As for The Lost Hunt, the 5-issue miniseries is written by J.M. DeMatteis, who I believe had a lot of writing work throughout the '90s on a number of animated series, actually including Spider-Man: The Animated Series, and penciled by Eder Messias, and explores the origin and legacy of Kraven the Hunter, while the fan favorite web slinger deals with a threat from the villain's past. Also out is a new X-Men miniseries, Sabretooth and the Exiles, written by Victor Lavalier, and drawn by Leonard Kirk. Other titles releasing include new issues for The Amazing Spider-Man, The Avengers, Marauders, Wolverine, and more, along with the one-shot AXE, Judgment Day Omega, serving as a capstone for the crossover between the Avengers, X-Men, and Eternals. The full list of releases can be found alphabetically below, covers and solicitations included. Okay, so before we get into that, of course, let's see if anybody else has popped in. No. All right. Anyways, let's get to this. AXE Judgment Day Omega #1. Kieran Gillen, writer. Gui Villanova, art. Cover by Pasquale Ferry. The fallout of Judgment Day is felt. After events, we make promises. Quote, nothing will ever be the same again, unquote. For the Eternals, it's a lie. It's always the same and always will be. However, in the wake of Judgment Day, they discover what is truly eternal. 40 pages, one shot, rated T+, $4.99. There's some of the images from Amazing Spider-Man #13. Zeb Wells writer, John Romita Jr. art and cover. Hobgoblin's story comes to a chilling end, and no one is going to be rocked harder by it than Norman Osborn. Witness the birth of the Gold Goblin. What does this mean for our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man? 32 pages, rated T+, $3.99. Continuing on here. Avengers #62. Jason Aaron, writer. Ivan Fiorelli, art. Cover by Javier Garron. History's Mightiest Heroes, conclusion. The Avengers' epic quest through the darkest and weirdest corners of time comes to an end with an issue that focuses on the prehistoric forefather of all things dark and weird in Marvel history. Earth's very first Sorcerer Supreme, prepare to see all of history through the eyes of Agamotto. 32 pages, rated T+, $3.99. Heard that name before, Agamotto. I believe that was used a lot in I guess, Doctor Strange's incantations, I guess. Next up, Black Panther Unconquered #1. Brian Edward Hill, writer. Alberto Folk, art. Cover by Ken Lashley. New reader-friendly one-shot. T'Challa faces a challenge unlike anything Wakanda has ever seen before in this all-new epic one-shot by Brian Edward Hill, of Killmonger fame, and Alberto Folk, Miles Morales. 32 pages, one shot, rated T+, $3.99. Captain America, Sentinel of Liberty, #6. Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing writers. Carmen Carnero, art and cover. Captain America has misjudged his place in the battle against the elusive Outer Circle, and it's about to cost him everything. The Sentry game has been turned upside down, and when the dust settles, Steve Rogers' world will never be the same again. 32 pages, rated T+, $3.99. Damage Control, #4 of 5. This is not, of course, the WWF women's faction either. This is probably something totally different. Adam F. Goldberg and Hans Rodionoff, writers. Nathan Stockman, art, with cover by Patch Zurcher. Patch Zurcher, huh? Interesting name. Code 66. Let's see what you got there. How do you pronounce? I believe it's, from the looks of it, I would say Quesnel. Quesnel is probably how you pronounce it. I had to. What's your favorite Sentai Filmworks dub? Oh, I have a lot of them. Well, let's see. If you just, I'd say if you're just counting Sentai and not including ADVs stuff, you're just exclusively counting Sentais. Let me see. Not sure if, but I would say Golgo 13 if that was a Sentai dub. I don't remember if that was Sentai or ADV, but I would have to say for me Golgo 13. Now, if you're counting favorite Houston dub overall, like counting both Sentai and ADV, of course, Full Metal Panic franchise, um, probably my favorite. Um, so if you're just talking Sentai Filmworks, say Golgo 13, if that was dubbed by Sentai, and then overall, Full Metal Panic. So, anyways, now getting back to the article here. Oh yeah, we were getting into this damage control number 4 of 5 here. Okay, it's been a tough first week for Gus at damage control. On Monday, he nearly caused a catastrophic squirrel attack. On Tuesday, he smushed a family who had been shrunk by Pim particle. Okay, smushed. Okay, I wonder how that happened. Uh, and on Wednesday, he turned himself into a monstrous guinea pig kaiju. Okay. That's why Gus has been banished down to research and development to assist Eugene Strasser. Sounds like Gus is kind of a klutz, to say the least. But introducing Gus to the one member of the damage control team who had a brief stint as a supervillain could have dire consequences. Let's see. Hans Rodionoff and Adam F. Goldberg write Gus into terrible situations, and Nathan Stockman brings the bad guys to glorious life in our supervillain packed issue with appalling appearances by Doctor Doom, Green Goblin, Red Skull, Loki, the Wrecking Crew, MODOK, and more. 32 pages, rated T plus. 398. Does kind of remind me of a few DC characters, including Ambush Bug, Batmite, maybe even Mr. Mix Yes Fitlick. Anyways, getting ready to move on to the. Look at all these interesting images right here. The new Fantastic Four series. No need to fear, they're here. Just call for four. Fantastic Four. You know the score. Fantastic Four. Reed Richards is elastic. Stu can fade from sight. Johnny's a human torch. The thing just loves to fight. All for four. Fantastic Four. You know the score. Fantastic Four. Anyways, Fantastic Four #1. Ryan North writer. Ivan Coelho art with covers by Alex Ross. Whatever happened to the Fantastic Four? It's the start of a new era for the Fantastic Four. They're already in a ton of trouble. Something has gone terribly wrong in New York, and the Thing and Alicia are traveling across America to escape it. But when they stop in a small town for the night and in the morning, wake up the morning before they arrive, they find themselves caught in a time loop that's been going on since before they were born. Oh boy, that's been going on since before they were born. That's been going on since before they were born. Oh boy. Anyways, 40 pages, rated T plus, 4.99. All right, Ghost Rider number 8. Like, here are some of the here are some of the images for the Ghost Rider comic here. And if anything here, of course, catches your attention or anything like that, feel free to comment or ask about it, and I'll try to do my best to answer the question. And if you haven't already, if you can like and share the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people in here, that'd be appreciated. Anyways, getting ready to move on here. Ghost Rider number 8. Benjamin Percy writer, Corey Smith art, with cover by Cale Goo. Johnny Blaze and Talia Warroad working together? As part of a splinter unit within the FBI, they will map out the shadow highways that crisscross the country, uncovering the larger design of an underworld conspiracy. 32 pages, rated T plus, $3.99. Anyways, Legion of X number 7, Cy Spurrier writer, Mito Diaz art, cover by Ben Harvey. Monstrous terror hits mutant kind. Something monstrous is afoot. Nightcrawler has developed some very uncanny physical features, and he's not the only one. Meanwhile, Cypher and Warlock have made a startling discovery of how the seemingly innocuous blooms floating out of the astral plane. Will the Legionnaires be able to untangle the web of threats before it envelops mutant kind? 32 pages, rated T plus, $3.99. And here's some more artwork here. All right, so Marauders number 8. Steve Orlando writer, Eleonora Carlini art, cover by Peach Momoko. Peach, 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 Peach. Let's see. Here comes yesterday, part 2. The Marauders go where no Krakoan has gone before. Back at last to the first mutant society ever, Kate Pride might be allergic to the word no, but can her crew really save the past without destroying the present? And as the Marauders plan to rescue yesterday, the Threshold 3 run free today. But can Krakoa survive the experience? 32 pages, rated T plus, $3.99. And they've got a Moon Knight release coming as well. Moon Knight number 17. Jed McKay, writer. Alessandro Capuccio, art. Cover by Steven Segovia. The structure is poised to make their claim on New York City. But before Moon Knight and his allies can strike at them, the super assassins Grand Mal and the Nemean must be dealt with. But how will Moon Knight handle two killers who beat him once already? And what shocking revelations will Mark Spector learn about the Fist of Khonshu? 32 pages, rated T+, $3.99. Sabretooth and the Exiles, number 1 of 5. Victor Lavalle, as writer. Leonard Kirk, art. Cover by Ryan Stegman. Sabretooth takes his destiny into his own clawed hands. The powers that be condemned Sabretooth to the pit of breaking the rules of Krakoa. But now he's free and ready to show the world you can't keep Victor Creed down, even as the exiles from Krakoa speed along in hot pursuit. A new chapter in the fan-favorite saga begins in brutal fashion. But when Dr. Barrington gets her hooks in Creed, he'll be lucky to survive the first issue. Victor Lavalle and Leonard Kirk return for this unforgettable installment in the chronicles of one of Marveldom's most vicious mutants. 48 pages, parental advisory, $4.99. Moving on to the next one here. Spider-Man number 2. Dan Slott, writer. Mark Bagley, art and cover. Let's see. The end of the Spider-Verse rages on. After the tragedy of the first issue, our spider heroes try to make a plan against Morlun. But Morlun isn't their only problem. Shathra is back and more powerful than the last time. She nearly killed Peter and Ezekiel. Last time Peter tricked Shathra, and she's had plenty of time to plan his death and the death of all spiders. 32 pages, rated T+, $3.99. Spider-Man, The Lost Hunt, number 1 of 5. J.M. DeMatteis as writer, Eder Messias as on the art, cover by Ryan Brown. Origins of Kraven finally revealed. J.M. DeMatteis continues to spin new webs within the past, this time partnered with artist Eder Messias, revealing secrets and answering mysteries Spidey fans have been waiting for. Prepare to explore the depths of what made Kraven the Hunter the powerhouse villain he was. As Peter Parker and Mary Jane prepare for their new lives in Portland, a man from Craven's past stalks them. Who is this mystery man? And what does he want with Spider-Man? Find out when we return to the time period after Spider-Man: The Final Adventure, when Peter Parker was powerless. 40 pages, rated T, $4.99. Star Wars: The High Republic #2. Cavan Scott, writer. Ario Anidito, art and cover. Death Strikes the Jedi. Okay. A Jedi lies dead in an ancient shrine. Another on the trail of the murderer, who is using ancient force powers on the streets of the holy city, and why are sacred relics going missing? And why do all roads lead to the Temple of the Wills? 32 pages, rated T. And of course, we did read a Star Wars article yesterday. Venom #13. Venom #13. Al Ewing, writer. Brian Hitch, art and cover. Of course, Brian Hitch also did the variant cover there. Dark Web Prelude. Forced to watch his son die from across the time stream, Eddie Brock finds himself surrounded by enemies. Alone and with no one to trust, an unexpected ally lends a hand, and she's setting the stage for the most epic crossover of the year. 32 pages, rated T+, $3.99. Wolverine #27, Benjamin Percy, writer. Juan Jose Rip, art, cover by Lenil Francis Yu. All new, all savage Wolverine. Wolverine's been sold out. Bannister's been duped. And when the dust settles, there's something different about Logan. Wolverine's saga in the Krakoan era takes a savage turn with a decision and a betrayal changes everything. 32 pages, parental advisory, $3.99. X-Men. That's the X-Men Legends #4. Ann Nocenti, writer. Javier Pina, art. Cover by Giuseppe Camuncoli. Betrayal, drama, action. Oh boy, we got a Mojo story here. Mojo's latest motion picture is off to a rousing start. But can Longshot recover his memories in time to stop Wolverine from carrying out the execution of Shadowcat? No special effects or trick shots in this Mojo World production, so every death will have to make the final cut. Longshot co-creator Innocenti calls the shots in this all-new tale set shortly after the original Longshot miniseries. 32 pages, rated T+, $3.99. All of these issues go on sale November 9th from Marvel Comics, which of course is tomorrow. Tomorrow, I love you. Tomorrow's a day away. Anyways. All right, so let's see now. One more article to go through here. This is the one we'll look at here. We've been seeing Dynamite Entertainment go from just simply being a distributor to actually publishing comics themselves. Exclusive Disney's Gargoyle series recreates iconic Goliath toy for action figure variant. CBR can exclusively debut a new incentive variant cover for Disney and Dynamite's Gargoyles that recreates the iconic Goliath action figure toy. Article by Bren Schwer, published 3 hours ago. There's Gargoyle. Now, of course, for those of us who remember watching the series back in the 90s, Keith David, of course, provided the voice for Goliath. Opposite, of course, I believe it was Sally Kellerman who voiced Eliza Maza. Demona, voiced by Marina Sirtis, of course. A number of Star Trek voice actors lent their Star Trek actors lent their voices to the series as well, including, of course, the aforementioned Marina Sirtis. I actually mistakenly said Deanna Trey, I believe, but it's actually the actress's name was Marina Sirtis. Jonathan Frakes, Michael Dorn, among others, and Brent Spiner. So, anyways, continue on with this article. PBR can exclusively reveal a new Gargoyles incentive variant cover by Brent Schoonover and colored by Alberto Silva. The action figure inspired variant starring Goliath is a 30 copy incentive, meaning retailers can order a copy for every 30 copies sold of the standard covers for Goliath for Gargoyles #1. CBR also recently unveiled an exclusive 250th Gargoyles #1 variant starring Goliath, specifically ready for Certified Guarantee Company CGC grading. There's Goliath right there. And there's in the bottom right hand corner there, of course, there's this animated look. Disney's Gargoyle returns in December from Dynamite. Dynamite Entertainment announced Disney's Gargoyles would be returning for a new series, which will serve as a new quote-unquote season for the Walt Disney television animation show that ran from 1994 to 1997 at San Diego Comic-Con. Coming from series creator Greg Weisman, artist and colorist George Cambades, and letterer Jeff Eckelberry. Be my Eckelberry, be my Eckelberry. The synopsis for Gargoyles #1 reads, quote, 1,000 years ago, superstition and the sword ruled. It was a time of darkness. It was a time of fear. It was a world of fear. Oh yeah, I remember this. Watching it. It was the age of gargoyles. Stone by day, warriors by night. They were betrayed by the humans they had sworn to protect. Frozen in stone by a magic spell for 1,000 years. Now, here in Manhattan, the spell is broken, and they live again. They are defenders of the night. They are gargoyles. And usually in between, before that last line, of course, it would usually be like music playing as they would show scenes from the show and stuff like that. So, anyways, in a recent interview for CBR, Weissman said the new Gargoyle series is made for both new and returning fans of the franchise. Quote, Nate and I agreed from the beginning that we wanted this series to be an entry point for new fans as well as a treat for old fans. So we're reintroducing all concepts from scratch, he explained. Quote, we didn't want the first few issues to be solid exposition or flashbacks. So there are certain aspects that we glide over, acknowledging but not explaining because they aren't immediately relevant to the story at hand. But given enough issues, we'll get to everything. Um, and hopefully, there's enough intriguing content in these first few issues that readers who are new to the property will be hooked. Unquote. It'll be interesting to see as well to see because obviously at the very end of the series, Broadway and Angela had become a couple, and you have to wonder if maybe they had started up a brood to to pass on the family line, as it were. Let's see now. Weissman further added, quote, I've been gathering ideas for Gargoyles nonstop since 1993. So, yes, some of these were ideas from way back in the day. Some are okay, say a decade or two old. Some are new. It never ends. The Gargoyles universe has always been rich with potential content. Gargoyles #1 features cover art by David Nakayama, Amanda Connor, Lucio Parillo, Leslie Letrix Lee, Tony Flees, and Trish Forster. The issue releases December 7th from Dynamite Entertainment. All right, so those are initially the main articles I was going to focus on. Let's see where we're at on time here. Hour 24, so I may hit up some of it. Let me look. May add another article here or two. Let's see, where are we at on time here? At hour 24 or 34? Hour 24. All right, well let's go through and see what else we can find. I think we're done with it. Let me see. First, I want to see TV news, see if there's any like cartoon or animation stories to look at. First off, I'll go down to right. Oh, okay. Hmm. Well, not as much. Let's see. So, and I know there'd be a lot of. I know there'd be a lot of. Well, let's just see and find. I guess in the anime side of it. Only thing is, with of course, anime usually will end up with a lot of. There you go. One day ago. All right. So let's see. Right, that's gonna be spoilers. Spoiler. Be a spoiler. It doesn't look like there's really here to really go over too much. So, all right. So I think we're done with the articles then. Well, I guess it would be a good time to probably do some wrestling wrap up, as we do have. Actually, before I do that, I'm gonna need to step away from the computer one more time. So I'll be right back. I'll put some music on for you guys. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Anyways, all right. So we of course, as I said, start doing our wrestling roundup here now. So last night's Raw, follow up to Crown Jewel. There was some aspects where they felt that people were suffering with jet lag, so maybe the it wasn't quite as lively as it normally would have been. But some of the big stories that came out tonight included Austin Theory failed to cash in his Money in the Bank contract. One of the stories. Also, the re-debut, as it were, of Mia Yim. Mia Yim had been in the WWE before, but then it was let go, and then now was brought back. When her contract in Impact Wrestling came up, she recently signed with the WWE and is now joined up with the OC of AJ Styles and the Good Brothers. So you got a tag team and a female wrestler who were recently with Impact, and both had significant roles on Impact. Good Brothers were for a time there the Impact World Tag Team Championship. Mia Yim now has come to the WWE, to Raw in particular, to help the OC counter Rhea Ripley's um, influence and interference and with the Judgment Day. Um, and of course, they also teased of a potential match between Rhea Ripley and Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair in a backstage segment. Where Rhea Ripley is still owed, I guess, a championship title match against her. So that match will be coming at some point. And of course, with Survivor Series at the end of the month here, we'll be waiting to see how that all plays out. Also, another storyline that's developing as well is that the Usos are fast approaching the record for longest reign of for the WWE tag titles. Is not the world titles, as the world titles were retired back in 2010. But this the longest reign of the WWE or WWE Universal titles. It looks like they're setting up a potential match with the New Day, who actually has the record for the longest reign, and the Usos are fast approaching that record. Speaking of title retirements, the 24/7 title was retired last night when Sonya Deville had defeated Dana Brooke for the title, and then promptly after the match decided to toss it in the garbage. So it looks like the WWE maybe there was a lot of criticism over the title, um, but now and for the first time in a while, you also saw Cedric Alexander come back on TV. There's a possibility that he and Shelton may be gearing up to become part of a stable, the Hurt Lock stable. With you know, there's some talk of that as well. But I guess we'll just wait and see. Yeah, this is a tricky thing because you just had Crown Jewel, and then you've got another pay-per-view coming up in a few weeks here. So quite a bit of a turnaround in terms of story development. Um, with that, why don't we go ahead and go over some AEW news? As of course, as AEW continues to make preparations for next Saturday's Full Gear pay-per-view on the 19th. Tomorrow night's Dynamite is gonna probably play into that as well. As let me see, as they've already got a pretty packed card going for tomorrow night. Tomorrow night's Dynamite. Tomorrow night's Dynamite, of course, will be from the Agganis Arena in Boston, Massachusetts. They'll be going live. I believe the Agganis Arena was named after former Red Sox first baseman Harry Agganis, who had passed away. He was the first baseman for their 40s teams. But the matches that are signed for tomorrow night include a big 8-man tag match as the Ring of Honor and AEW World Tag Team Champions will be teaming up together as the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions, FTR, and the AEW World Tag Team Champions, The Acclaimed, with Billy Gunn in their most likely in their corner, will be taking on the number one contenders to the respective titles. The Guns, Austin and Colton Gunn, who will probably have Stokely Hathaway in their corners. They're part of the firm. The number one contenders of the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championship. And then Swerve in Our Glory with Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland also involved in that. Now, there has, in recent weeks, there has been some possible dissension within Swerve in Our Glory. Of course, after losing the tag titles to the Acclaimed, Swerve has taken a pretty drastic, pretty much of a heel turn. We saw that, I think, a couple weeks ago when he kidnapped Billy Gunn and basically broke his fingers, so he couldn't scissors. Keith Lee has not looked too happy about the situation, though. But again, I guess we'll wait and see. We'll see which trumps all. Will Keith Lee stick with Swerve, to continue their pursuit of the tag titles, and if they should win, or will he part ways with them over Swerve's recent behavior? We'll just have to wait and see. So you got 4 talented teams here going at it to open up the match in a world title eliminator match, first round match. So AEW is having a tournament, I guess, to crown a number one contender to take on the winner. I guess the winner of the Jon Moxley MJF world title match at Full Gear. Finals of this tournament will be held at Full Gear. The first round match that will be happening tomorrow night will be Eddie Kingston versus All Ego Ethan Page. Ethan Page, of course, has become part of the firm, along with, of course, the Guns, Lee Moriarty, the recently debuted W. Morrissey, and then, of course, forced members Matt Hardy and Private Party. Of course, now Eddie Kingston of late has apparently, as did happen on last night's television as well, he's been maybe getting a little more agitated of late, nearly costing him and Ortiz a number of victories in their recent tag team matches. Could this be a sign that Eddie might be turning heel? We don't know for sure. But I got some other news coming out of last night's television as well. I'll mention that in a moment here. Also for tomorrow night, Jamie Hayter, who has a shot at AEW Interim Women's Champion Tony Storm next Saturday at Full Gear, will be taking on Sky Blue. This is coming out of the tag match they had on Friday's Rampage. These two women are some up and coming talents there. Both of them in recent, Tater in particular has been being pushed more towards main event status. Personally, I don't think she's there yet, and I don't think she'll be able to get there until she can put some distance between her and Britt Baker. As long as she continue, I think, in my own personal opinion, as long as Hayter continues to hang around with Britt Baker, she won't be able to really stand out as a main eventer. She'll always be perceived as riding Britt Baker's coattails unless she can get out from under Baker's shadow. Of course, Baker and Saraya will be having a face to face on tomorrow night's Impact as well. I think they were supposed to have a one-on-one interview on last week's episode with Renee Paquette, but Britt pulled one of her little I'm too good for that bit, so I'm gonna try it again this week. Sky Blue has been on a bit of an upswing of late. Granted, she's still gotten a few losses here and there, but she's also been trying to do her energy and passion for the business have been shining through on some of her recent matches. And then in another match time for tomorrow night, in a best 2 out of 3 falls match, Bryan Danielson will be taking on Sammy Guevara. So that's what's going on tomorrow night. Now, on last night, there's some things going on. Now, Dark Elevation and Dark are enhancement shows. Okay? Now, I want to explain to those who may not know what an enhancement show is. The professional wrestling enhancement shows are usually when your main talent goes up against what they call enhancement talent. These are guys who are in there, who are good in-ring workers, but they're there to make the talent look good. They're to enhance the talent, as it were. Okay. I look at some of the low ratings on some of these enhancement shows on Cage Match, and I sometimes wonder if some of these people given some of these sub 5 ratings really understand the concept of an enhancement show. Enhancement shows tend to be showcases for more your lower mid card talent, and also your chances for your secondary titles to be featured is your secondary titles can be defended on these enhancement shows against still quality opponents, maybe people that are still going to be squashed, but also enhancement shows are used to test out certain angles, right? And a couple of the aforementioned Eddie Kingston potential heel turn has been playing out the last few weeks on Dynamite and Dark, as well as another potential heel turn been kind of playing out a little bit with Athena. Athena on past few weeks has been getting more and more aggressive on Dark and Dark Elevation, which may and then of course she was really playing up the heel when they were up in Toronto a few weeks ago, and it looks like she's continued. I don't know if that's just out, it's at least within the storyline, if that's just out of frustration over not really, not being able to beat Jade, and then also kind of only for a short time being involved in the AEW. Maybe she's starting to feel like she's getting lost in the system there a little bit, but this is something to watch too, and also on last night's Elevation, of course, Dalton Castle and the boys defended and retained the Ring of Honor 6-man tag team championship over the Trustbusters. in this particular match comprised of Ari Daivari, Slim J, and Juice K. So some interesting notes coming out of all that. Let me see here. Let me see where we're at time. Goody. We're goody. I'm glad I was able to do that. So I got even some more. Well, thank you guys for those who may have dropped in to drop a like. That I really appreciate that. Anyways, I think it would be a good time to start winding things down a bit here. So, without any further ado, today being Tuesday. Now, hopefully, y'all went out and remembered to vote today to let your voices be heard. Today is in the United States. The states here, it is election day, so some key races there. Not that we really talk a whole lot of politics here, just because it can be quite tricky. But with all that being said, however, it would be a good time here to look back at this day in each history. History. So anyways, let's go ahead and get going here. So first off, we're going to. I got a birthday wish to send out. Like to wish a happy 70th birthday to actress Alfre Woodard. Now, Alfre Woodard has been known to have quite a few roles over the years, but on the um, on the animation side of it, of course, she would lend her voice to Gene Hawkins in a Static Shock episode Flashback. Um, she also voiced Akela in the Wild Thornberrys movie. She was Malsey in The Brave Little Toaster to the Rescue. She was Winhoom Bear in Happily Ever After, Fairy Tales for Every Child, episode Goldilocks and the Three Bears. So, happy 70th birthday to Alfre Woodard. Um, with that, we'll get ready to move on to the next piece of niche history. Now, heading to 1962. On this date, 60 years ago today, the 180th issue of Blackhawk went on sale from DC Comics, sold for 12 cents. By this point, they had increased the cost to 12 cents an issue as opposed to 10. 32 pages. Now, this was a continuation, of course, of a series that was started with Quality Comics. So starting with issue 108, DC had taken over this title and had just continued the numbering. So this is the 180th issue of Blackhawk. Which went on sale on this date back in 1962, 60 years ago today. Now, for those of you that may not know, Blackhawk was an aviation type hero, originally set in World War II, but Blackhawk and his team had many adventures well after that, well into the 80s. So with that, on this date, 60 years ago today, 180th issue of Blackhawk went on sale today from DC Comics, under, of course, the National Periodical Publications Incorporated brand. So with that, we got one more piece of niche history to take care of here. On this date, 25 years ago today, as they get to it, from the ECW arena in Philadelphia. Now here it's being on this part it's saying 1996, but it actually happened in 1997. ECW's ECW held its Ultimate Jeopardy event in 1997 here on this date back in 1997. The main event saw Taz and Tommy Dreamer team up to defeat Rob Van Dam and Sabu. Bam Bam Bigelow retained the ECW World Heavyweight Championship over Shane Douglas in a after Rotten survived a Four Corners match, defeating Devon Dudley, John Cronus, and Tracy Smothers in the match. Last eliminating, of course, Tracy Smothers. Some other matches included Chris Candido and Lance Storm defeating Jerry Lynn and Tommy Rogers. Mikey Whipwreck defeating Spike Dudley. Al Snow defeating Paul Diamond, among others. So, anyway, so on this date back in 1997, ECW's Ultimate Jeopardy took place from the ECW arena. So, with all that, guys, I thank you all for being here tonight. I appreciate all the likes and shares. Hopefully, you guys got some entertainment out of this. And don't forget, of course, we'll be back here tomorrow night for more Niche News coverage. Also, this Friday, we'll be continuing our look down Comics History Lane. My co-host will be Rick Piper from Cross Comics. We'll be continuing our look through June of 1939, in which we will be looking back to. This Friday we'll be focusing in on Fox feature publications, including the introduction of Mystery Men Comics, Mystery Men Comics #1. I'll be introducing you to such heroes as Blue Beetle, Green Mask, and Zanzibar, the Magician. So I hope you guys will be back here tomorrow night. You guys will be back here Friday and Thursday. And until tomorrow, bye.